Am I the idiot for calling my boyfriend's sister a witch? My boyfriend, we are both 18, comes from a hockey-obsessed family, and that's saying something considering we live in Canada lol. I don't know poop about hockey except like the Maple Leafs haven't won a playoff in years. Ike lol. I also know the names of good-looking hockey players that sometimes show up on TikTok. My BF doesn't care. He does plan on making me a hockey fan though. Anyways, I was a tiny bit scared to meet his family since his friends made a big deal out of how intense they were as hockey fans, but they were all pretty chill. I did get teased lightheartedly, but they were nice. Except his older sister, 28. She started asking me hockey trivia questions that I clearly didn't know the answers to and kept mocking me. She then sort of looked me up and down and said, "You're one of those girls, aren't you?" I asked her what she meant and she said I was a girly girl considering how much I dressed up for a casual family dinner. I asked her why that was an issue. She said it wasn't and all his GFS have been girly girls, but at least they were pretty. I was really hurt by that. I asked her why she was being so rude and she told me that she was just telling the truth. Apparently my BF is a type and I don't fit that. He also had standards and dated people on his level who, despite their girliness, knew the basics of hockey and were actually pretty. I was confused, hurt and annoyed and ended up calling her a freaking witch under my breath. Unsurprisingly, she heard it and started yelling at me and said that I better treat her with respect or else. I just said whatever and waited for my BF. He was trying to find something in the basement. I stuck to him the entire night, but his sister kept glaring at me, and before I left she told me that she was just being honest and telling me how incompatible we are. I had no right to call her a witch and she wanted me to apologize. I said no and left, but she found my Insta and sent me pics of his exes to prove her point and said, "Now where's my apology?" I haven't answered yet, but I'm conflicted. I know I'm not his type, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I also feel like I don't have to apologize since she was being a massive witch, but I guess she wasn't wrong and was indeed telling the truth. I'm just hurt. Am I the idiot? Edit. My BF isn't aware of anything that's going on, and my friend who told me to post on here just read this and told me that I'm missing a very important piece of information. I'm brown. My BF and his family are white. Comments before the update. Not the idiot. If she was just telling the truth and expecting you to handle it, she can likewise just deal because you were just telling the truth. Not the idiot. What others said, you were sticking up for yourself and maybe got heated and lost in the moment, but that was really cruel of her. Listen, I think you should really consider breaking up with this guy. This sister could end up being in your life forever. If this is how she treats a stranger, imagine how she treats her friends, family. This is a huge red flag to me. I would tell your BF what's going on, all of it, including their IG stuff, and call it off. You probably don't want to be a part of this mess of a family. I mean, her parents raised him too. Update. But yeah, I don't use Reddit and was a tiny bit overwhelmed seeing the response I got. I also saw my post on TikTok which scared the absolute poop out of me, but that's a story for another day. I got a lot of comments and advice. I firstly want to say thank you for being super kind to me. It was really heartwarming and it gave me a little bit of courage to tell my BF what happened. I eventually told him what happened and showed him the messages his sister had sent me. He just hugged me really tight and told me that if she ever says anything like that to me again, to tell him straight away. He made me block her and then he called her right in front of me and told her to get the frick out of his personal life and stop acting like such a creep. He informed me that his sister is barely in his life because of how she treats him and apologized for not telling me earlier. I was still a little unsure of everything TBH, especially since coming to the realization that his sister's comments were rooted in racism. I asked him what he thought about me being a POC. He told me that it's new to him considering he's been surrounded by white people all his life, but he loves me regardless. He said, "Love guys." I might have fainted. I know a lot of people think I should run, but I don't want to. I think I love him too. Yeah, we're only 18, come from extremely different cultures, and his sister is going to be a somewhat permanent thing. But right now, I think we'll be okay. He doesn't think that way, nor do his other family members. His mom's a sweetheart. If I ever get even the slightest hint that he's actually a terrible racist and just like his sister, then yeah, I'm definitely leaving, but they aren't the same person and I can recognize that. After all, my parents don't even know about our relationship because I'm scared of how they might act. It would be a bit unfair if I dumped him over the actions of his sister. Not the idiot. Dude sounds like a keeper. Don't let his sister sway you from what, by all accounts, is an otherwise great relationship. As if he has no meaningful relationship with her. And based on your original post, the rest of his family seemed cool. Really glad it worked out. Good luck to you both. Not the idiot. I'm so glad to hear that your BF immediately supported you when you showed him what you went through. Unfortunately, it sounds like you should be prepared for his sister to repeat this performance if you go to other family events. But at least you will know that your BF will have your back. The two of you should probably decide ahead of time what you want to do for defense ahead of time. Do you think she should dump her boyfriend? Let me know in the comments. Am I the idiot for demanding my fiance stop teaching our kids bad manners? My fiance Lola and I have been together for 5 years, engaged for a little over a year, and we have twins, boy and girl, 2.5. Our wedding is in 2 months. Lola usually takes care of feeding the kids in the morning since I work early, and so I never noticed this until recently. I took a week's vacation from work to just spend time at home with my kids and Lola and started to notice something that bothered me. Lola has been teaching our kids bad table manners and sees nothing wrong with it. I hadn't noticed this before, as they don't eat this type of food for lunch, dinner, snacks, or eat it all the time, so I guess I just missed it as I wasn't home or she fed them other things on the weekends. This morning I was helping Lola make breakfast and then I got the kids ready while she brought their food out for them. As they were getting ready to eat, I noticed they didn't have forks, spoons, so I told Lola I would get them and she said there was no need. I watched instead and she gave the kids tortillas that she ripped into pieces and they were using their bare hands to grab the food using the pieces of the tortilla. I asked her what she was doing and that she should be giving them utensils, but she seemed shocked that I was concerned and said that's how they always eat it. I told her that she was teaching them bad manners and making them think it was okay to just grab food with their hands. She told me they do that anyway when they have chips or grapes or tacos and pizza and listed a bunch of other snacks and fast food you eat without utensils. But I pointed out that those things are usually made to be eaten quickly or on the road, like fast food, so utensils aren't needed. She said I was being offensive by calling her way of eating gross and saying it was bad manners, but I do think it's gross to see someone grabbing at food with their bare hands like that. She said she grew up eating like that and would always use tortillas to eat things like eggs or meat, rice, beans, and that it wasn't gross because she always made the kids wash their hands before they ate. I ended up giving my kids forks for them to eat which they didn't want to use, which made me even more frustrated with her because now they're used to this. Lola has been really annoyed the rest of the day and wouldn't let me help her with lunch, and earlier she was walking around the house speaking to someone, probably her sister, in Spanish about me, and I'm starting to feel a bit annoyed. Am I the idiot? Edit. Wow, lots of replies quickly. They seem to be mixed so far, but I will add that the kids can use utensils and use them with foods like soups, pastas divided by etc. I just fear that allowing them to continue using their hands will make them used to it. Comments before the update. You're the idiot. I'm guessing Lola is of Latin American descent. It's very common in that culture to use a tortilla as the utensil just as it is in many other cultures to use bread or something as a utensil. You're being insensitive to her culture. You're the idiot. This is how 2-year-olds eat and you don't need a fork for a tortilla. And using flatbread to scoop up food is de rigueur in almost every culture except Northwestern European culture, which makes you a racist idiot too. Also the fact that your little ones are 3 and you've just noticed standard mealtime behavior makes YT at times too. Try being an engaged parent. Update. I admit that at first I was annoyed and defensive that everyone was ganging up on me and saying I was racist, an absent parent divided by etc. However, surprisingly enough, it was the comments who were trying to defend me and somewhat agreeing with me that ended up changing my mind. At first I was mainly focusing on the 2-3 comments in my defense, but as I read more of them I started to realize that they were sounding racist, disrespectful, and then I realized the rest of you were right. And that is what I sounded like in my post. There were a few comments saying something like, in America that is not normal, but we are not in America, and hearing people say that to me while defending me was shocking to say the least. I don't want to be one of those people who goes around telling people that they need to speak a certain language, or do a certain thing because of where they happen to be. I showed my wife the post and she saw a lot of your disrespectful comments agreeing with me, calling her way of eating unhygienic, and she said they sounded like me, which made me realize I was an idiot. For those asking if I had ever seen my wife eat like that, no I hadn't, and I asked her why she never did even though she said she grew up doing it. She told me how a few months into our relationship I had made a comment about someone in a film being poor and weird for eating food with their hands. I do remember having said this, and it is something that I should not have said. She said that is why she didn't eat like that in front of me, but she thought I wouldn't mind if our kids did, as they are toddlers and toddlers regularly eat with their hands. I am doing a lot of self-reflection and have apologized deeply to my wife. She said she needs some time to think things through after seeing the post and my comments as well as everyone's comments, which I fully respect. Thanks everyone for your insight. Not the idiot. As an American, I think it is hilarious that being told, we don't eat like that in America, was one of the tipping points. It's the same kind of bullshit reasoning we have for not switching to metric. I'm glad you came around. I just saw a comment saying you're technically eating poop particles even if you wash your hands. I had to resist rolling my eyes so hard to not end up at the doctor's office. I'm glad this turned out positive and a great learning moment. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for kicking out my BFS cousin and family out of my house? I, male 24, have been in a relationship with my male 24 BFJ for 2 years now, and we're planning on moving into my house next month, but things don't look that way anymore. I'm an orphan. I lost my parents 3 years ago, and my brother Sam, male 20, inherited our parents' house and quite a lot of money. I wouldn't call us rich, but we are definitely comfortable. My parents were hit by a drunk driver and it took me over a year in therapy to get over it. My brother is still going and things have been getting better, but he still grieves a lot. We both got the house, but he wanted nothing to do with the house and asked me to buy him out of it, and I agreed. The house is now in my name and we got him an apartment 20 minutes from me, so we are still close to each other. When I met my BF, I opened myself up again and fell in love, and we have a wonderful relationship. The only problem is his cousin Mike, 21 meters. He hates me a lot, and I honestly have no clue why he hated me before I even met him. Jay defends him but tries to at least make him act nice in front of me. 3 days ago I hosted a party at my house. In my house I have a lot of pics of my parents, me, my brother, and all of us together. It makes me feel as though they are still with us and we are still a happy family. At my party my friends, Sam, Jay and his family were invited, and me and my BF were planning to tell everyone that we are planning on moving in together. I was so excited, and Sam seemed to be enjoying himself for the first time in a long time, so I was pretty darn happy. Before we got to tell everyone, Mike looks at my brother and points to a picture of my parents and says, "I'm glad they're not here. The way they raised your brother makes them seem like poop parents." My brother got up, told me what he told him, and left. I was heartbroken. He seemed to be happy for once and his cousin ruined it. Well, I told Jay to either remove Mike from my home or I would. Jay got defensive and said they were messing around and that my brother needs to be able to joke about stuff like this. I said you have 3 minutes to throw him out or I set my timer and waited it out. My BF didn't seem to think I was serious, and when time was up I told everyone that Mike is no longer welcomed in my house, and if he didn't leave now I would call the cops. His family said if he goes then they go. Here is why I think I might be an odd but still think my actions were justified. I told them I don't give a frick about you all when you can't even teach that fucker manners, so get TF out. They left and my friends helped me calm down. They said they got that I was mad but I was out of line. Jay threatened to break up with me and my brother just said to forgive them, but I can't, so am I the off for kicking my BFS family out. Edit. Just wanted to say that his family backed Mike as well, that's why I said what I said. Comments before the update. Not the idiot. And consider that your BF seems to think disrespecting your dead parents is a cool and viable action to do. Not the idiot. Break up with Jay and change the locks on your house if he has a key. He doesn't respect you. Let his family insult you and your dead parents in your home after you graciously hosted them. You deserve better. I'm so sorry for the loss of your parents. Update. I had a long talk with my brother. He says that if I want to forgive Jay then I should do that and that he will be by my side no matter what. But he won't ever be in the same room as Mike again, and if I ever host a party or anything like that and Mike's there he won't go. Jay and I had a talk today at lunchtime. I took a sick day and just wanted this to be over so I could go on with my life. Jay came to my house and the first thing he said was ready to apologize to Mike, and I told him that if he didn't change his tone and cut the crap that I would throw the door in his face. He looked shocked at my response and came in and sat down so we could talk. I told him that what Mike said is just evil and that I won't have him disrespect my late parents and my brother. I told him that I won't ever be in the same room as him again. Jay stayed quiet, took his phone out, sent a text, and then he started to talk. He basically said that it was meant as a joke and that me and Sam took it way too personal, which made me yell at him and almost. We argued for about 10 minutes more than Mike showed up. I looked at Jay and he told me to just hear him out, being the idiot I apparently am. He said, and I quote, "I'm sorry you and your brother can't take a joke, but can we get past this now?" I told Mike to get out and he left. Jay started to yell, but I just said we are over and told him to get out. He started crying and told me he was sorry. I just took my keys back and threw him out. I'm not even sad, I'm just hurt and angry. But thank you to all of you. Your comments helped and I'm grateful. Not the idiot. Wow, you made the right decision. I am so proud of you for standing up for your brother and your beliefs. You are a really good brother. A joke is only considered a joke when the people involved in it find it funny. What Mike said was purely evil and I bet 100% they would have blasted at you if you had said what he said. I think you dodged a bullet here where all these issues came up before you moved in with your now ex. Trust me, there is definitely someone way better out there for you. Please stay strong and safe. Not the idiot. Good on you for standing up for yourself and your brother. It was never a joke. Mike said his true feelings, tried to disguise it as a joke when you called him out on his $sign hit, then had the audacity to say you were being too sensitive over your brother being insulted in your own home. Jay wasn't a partner to you. He enabled Mike's crappy behavior and allowed you to be disrespected. He deserved to be tossed out with the rest of the trash. He's only sad because he knows he lost a cushy life. Partners are meant to enhance our lives, not diminish them. Never forget that.